Money, maningi, mali. Speaking of which, money, if you were to take your money to the laundromat for a wash and an iron, that might not get you arrested.
No, but allowing criminals to use your bank account for criminal activity will.
Yeah, and that's why Laundering, the CEO of SABRIC, tells us a bit more about money laundering.
Duffel bags, high-speed car chases and secret bank vaults. I'm pretty sure when you think of money laundering, this is what you picture. But this particular scam is an everyday reality and not just something that happens in the movies. To tell us a bit more about this very serious and real criminal offence, we are joined by Kalyani Pillay, CEO of SABRIC, the South African Banking Risk Information Centre. We've loved walking this journey of empowerment with you, and I'm going to say that because I feel empowered knowing what I now know. This is an area, though, that kind of elicits an emotional response. We connected to movies. We see it as kind of very much connected to the mob and gangsters, but this is something that's happening every day. Some of us might be unwittingly involved in that practice. Define it for us. What is money laundering, essentially?
Well, money laundering is the process that criminals would use to try and clean their money. You know, it's taking dirty money and making it legitimate, and they look for various ways to do that, and they unfortunately use a lot of innocent people along the way.
I think some people might even be complicit knowingly because they are offered, it seems like you're not hurting anyone, you know, it's the victimless crime, but that really is not the reality. But of course, so many people are duped into it unwittingly. Are you then held responsible if your account or if you are in some way used in that money laundering process?
Well, you certainly will be considered to be complicit in a very serious crime. So what happens is that these organized syndicates actually look for people so that they could utilize their bank accounts. And so they try to use people who already have legitimate bank accounts sometimes for an offer of some kind of payment. People are asked to rent out their accounts to people. In other words, open an account and let me use it. And they give you some kind of sad story so that you allow them to use their account. And again, there may be an offer for a couple of rands. And they know that. We've had instances of where people who are unemployed, standing at a street corner waiting to get a contract work or, you know, a temporary job somewhere. And they would go in and pick up all of these people, take them to a bank, say, look, you've got to open accounts because we're going to give you a job and we need your account. And then they would even take the card away from those people, say at the end of the month, when we pay you, we'll give you your card back. In the meantime, they now have accounts that they can utilize. 30
people that they can use.
We're saying, you know, you are a money mule if you allow that to happen. You are complicit or be considered to be complicit and could be charged. So we're urging bank customers not to ever allow their bank account to be used by anybody else, but also not to open a bank account in their name for somebody else to use. Really.
Are there some warning signs or ways that we can protect ourselves, you know, without obviously the information being a big part of that, but you know, what advice do you have for people out there? Who's most at risk?
Well, the advice is just don't allow anybody to use your bank account for anything, you know, to get a deposit in. Secondly, don't open an account for anybody, you know, because that's like renting out an account. You're opening an account, you don't, and the minute you know, they call it willful blindness. That's how the law will actually look at it, because you should have asked questions. You should have asked. If somebody's coming to you with some kind of, so you need to be able to ask some questions, but also very important, if you are suspicious of any kind of unlawful activity like that, you should bring it to the attention of the bank, and you should bring it to the attention of the South African Police Service.
Okay, and go to the police immediately. And I think the best advice we can give in this case, almost, I'm going to say 100% of the time, if it's too good to be true, it is too good to be true.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, don't let the promise of just a small amount of money allow you to lose a massive amount and your credibility, and ultimately turn you into a criminal on the back end. It may sound like a movie, but scallums are always on the prowl. Never forget it. For more tips on how to wise up and watch out, please visit the SABRIC website and their Facebook and their Twitter pages. Such a vital resource for all of us.
Wise up, watch out.